Hello. I'm a minute late. I was doing something on another screen and lost track of time. Hey, Journey. Hey, Brian. How y'all doing? I have had a 2 weeks. You wouldn't believe. Actually, it's been a couple months, but anyway, how's everybody doing tonight? I don't think I got. Oh, I'm back. Thank God. Can you guys see me? Yeah, I was gone. Oh no. Hi, Scooter. So we were supposed to take our internet box in. We were running errands this week and we forgot because when it gets a couple years old, 2 to 3, it starts to do this. And we just take it in and we exchange it for a more modern or new one. And we haven't. And I think that's a lot of the problem that we're having. So I was going to hotspot it to my phone if it didn't come back on. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. The box is literally 6 feet away from me. So it's not like it has to travel far. I'm trying not to shake this desk. I thought this desk would be a little sturdier than that, but that's okay. So I was going to give it a few minutes, but yeah, I've had a. Oh, even Brian's been having issues too. Yeah. Now there was a way I could put the comments now on the screen. Let me see if I can figure that out again. Ah, there it is. There we go. Haha! That's so cool. Culver City, California's in the house. Devin said it's been kind of hot there for a while. She said, I'd really like to stop using my air conditioner. She said that about a week or so ago. When we were freezing, Devin was using her air conditioner. I was like, well, I should come to your house. We technically were supposed to go visit her in March, but those plans have changed. Like I said, I'm going to give it a few minutes. It's a big, big, big announcement. I need a passport for it. I've never had a passport. So, and that's one of the things I've been going through, trying to get a passport. Geez, it is not easy. I'm an Army wife that never had to go overseas. So, how's everybody been doing? I have not been up on everything that's been going on because the last couple weeks I've been working a lot and sleeping during the day. So, I haven't been able to watch anything in Scientology or what's going on. I do see headlines and I see people pop in. I'll see, I might pop in for a minute, like when you guys are live, but I don't start talking because I know I can't stay. But mostly I've been sleeping during the day and working because we only have 5 people and we all work alone. So if somebody gets fired, we have to cover that. Buying a brand new Hyundai Palisade. I wish I could afford that. I really do. That was an awesome car. If you guys don't know, we had, when the tree fell on our truck, we had a Hyundai Palisade for a month. That thing was a spaceship. It drove itself. Now, it didn't make turns. It didn't do that. But it kept you in lane when you're on. And it's all, I drive an hour to get to work, or an hour and a half to get to Austin. So that was nice. But it'll yell at you if you take your hands off the wheel too long. One day at a time. School's been taking a lot of your time. Yeah. I remember Tom retired and then went to school for a year and a half. That was hard. Let me know if all of a sudden you don't want me in your chat. Oh, I don't know anything about it. So I'm not going to worry about it at the moment. I'll find out about it. Me and Scooter need to sit down and talk so she can get me up on speed of everything's been going on. I need to call her. But I haven't even had time to talk on the phone. Yes, I did. But I was usually just trying to recuperate. Geesh. Because I didn't have time to recuperate working 4 or so days in a row. So last week I worked 4 days straight because I went into work on Friday and I wasn't supposed to be there. And the guy that was there was doing a double. So he was like, you can stay. I'm going home. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I know. I should get a hot flash. I should turn the fan on. I didn't want the noise. And then this week I worked 2 and I'm off tonight. And see, I'd planned on going to the org Friday during the day today because I can't go. We only have 1 car right now. I'm not going to go into all the crappy stuff that's happened yet. I want to do the fun stuff first. So I've given it 5 minutes so I can go over it again. So I don't know if you guys have paid attention, but last couple years, I really got into this group called BTS. They're a K-pop group. You could call them a boy band, but they're kind of more than that. They're very, very different than K-pop or Western boy bands. Because when they started, because in Korea, K-pop is not a genre. You can sing any genre and be in K-pop. That just covers, it's an integrated content. It's dance, it's choreography, it's the singing, it's the look, it's everything. And what they do is they bring in trainees and they'll train them for months or years. And then they'll decide, okay, you and you and you are going to go in this group. And you and you and you are going to go in this group. And then they debut. So this group started in 2010, but didn't debut till 2013. And they all came on at different times. The difference was their company was bankrupt when they started with them. The 7 boys stayed in one room, 1 bedroom, 3 bunk beds and a single. And they got the first 3 they brought on were rappers, underground rappers that wrote their own raps. Like when they started when they were like 13. So they have songwriters, choreographers, producers, but they did it all themselves. So they took a different route than any other K-pop. They write their own music. It's not all bright and poppy and fun. They have substance. Like they did one whole album called Map of the Soul Persona, based on Carl Jung and his theories about the ego. And they did a whole album and a whole tour. And then they did a Love Yourself tour. They want people to love themselves. They sing about mental illness, their struggles. No other K-pop was really doing that. And so because they didn't have the finances to debut them, they went on YouTube. They had their own variety show online. And so they went international rather quickly because of the way they promoted themselves. So they kind of left K-pop for a while. Anyway, I just wanted to do a background on it. That's why I got into them. It wasn't just their music, because most of it's in Korean. It was all of it. It was, hey, Seal Bill, what's up? I'm hoping Adam comes on. I got something to show y'all that came in the mail. So anyway, they were in the army. In South Korea, you have to do 18 months in the army. And these guys were the biggest group in the world, and they still did their 18-month service. One of them had to do 2 years because he had a shoulder injury and couldn't do regular service. So they put him in social work. And you can't make money while you're in the army. So what they did, which no other K-pop group has done, most of them usually disband after military service, or they break it up so they're only missing one and they keep going with missing 1 or 2. They didn't do that. They did something completely different. They recorded a bunch of stuff, videos, songs, and other things to drop after they went in the army. So we were never without content. And then a couple of them, who was their older ones, they went in first. So it was over 2 years. Hey! Hey! Oh my God. What are you doing? Yeah, I've never seen that before. The 2 littles were fighting, like seriously fighting. Scared. Oh my gosh. I've never seen that. Now they're alone a lot, so I don't know. Maybe it's happened, but they've come close. But she's the bully. Why you be mean? Why you be mean? Ooh. Usually it's quick. They get it out. This, I was worried somebody's going to get hurt. Yeah, Daisy's like, Mommy, I didn't do it. She's right here. Mommy, I didn't do it. I swear. She was standing there. I thought Daisy might try to break it up. I think she was shocked too. It's okay, Daisy. It's okay. It's okay. Petunia, you go to bed. Because I know she does it to Daisy too. Ooh. Yeah, that scared me. I've never seen them do that. Can I put him down now? Are you gonna be nice? All right. You be nice. I know it was you. Get. Are you guys gonna make up? Move, Daisy, so I can put him down. Move. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Go. Go. Go on. Petunia? They seem okay now. It's a boy and a girl. He's the only small dog I've had that was a boy. Okay. That excitement's over. Hey, Casey. Good to see you. Good to see you. Anybody else come in while I was dealing with dogs? Okay, we're good. Whew. Anyway, so I had to set that up so you could understand how important. So they got back last summer. They said they were going to drop a new album in spring. Spring is a big thing for them. They have a song called Spring Day, and spring is like a big thing in them. The Army, which is the fan base, actually wrote them a song when they left to say that we would be waiting here for them when they got back and spring will come again. That was a beautiful thing there. Dogs stopped fighting. They did. I think they're okay now. Ugh, they've probably done that before when I wasn't here, but I've never seen it. They were not stopping. Usually it's and then they're done. How bad and evil Scientology is. A lot of people have actually. A lot of them have using that AI stuff or not the chat stuff and made some songs. But I think we need something that's really hard hitting too. You're right. So we knew that they were writing a new album and they were going to drop it in spring. Well, then last month they announced their tour. Cruz's big-headed self, for sure, for sure. I was just telling them when I came on, I've been working a lot because we had to cover somebody else's shift. I haven't seen anything hardly anything in Scientology the last couple weeks. If it was a short, when I go on break at work, I'll go through shorts, and sometimes I see some of the channels shorts and stuff. So that I did see those, and I listened to a couple of things on the way to work. Hey, Becky, how you doing? I've been out of the loop for a couple of weeks, so I was talking about this group that I wanted to go see. So they announced their tour because COVID canceled their last tour. It's a year-long tour all over the world. Now, they did what they do something different. They have their own website, and if you're a member, and this group has 15 million paid members. It's like $20 for the year. And that's where you get, and now they go live on there. But usually right after they go live, somebody puts it on YouTube or something with subtitles because they speak Korean. So the Army, the fan base, they are quick to get a translation out there when they go live, and they get all together, and they might only live stream for 10 minutes. They announced their tour. So then in January, towards the end, middle end, So how they work it is members get first dibs. Okay. You have to have a Ticketmaster account, but you're going to go in somehow through their website, and you have to apply to get in this pre-sale, and you can pick 3 cities. I picked Arlington, Texas, Vegas, and Tampa, because I knew I've flown to those 2 places before and it's really easy. So, oh, cool, Casey. Cool. When I went to their, so I was saying they did, because they're all within 5 years of each other. The 2 oldest went in first, and they got out actually a year or so ago, and they toured. They dropped solo albums and toured, and I went to both of their concerts, J-Hope and Jin, last year. Suga, he toured before he went in 2 years ago. I think they're the only 3 that toured. Oh, no. Jungkook, he dropped almost a full English album before he went in. He did a little bit of touring, but not really a concert thing. He was going to like different things. And the other 3 haven't toured. So they went to LA first to write songs. Anyway, pre-sale. So you go in, you get in this, and there's 2 days. 2 days. And different cities are on each day. And you go in this waiting room, and you're assigned a number. If you get a low number, you get first dibs, and you go in, you pick your seats, and you pay for your tickets. And I watched Seobel. I can't read Korean yet. I was supposed to learn it before this happened, but I never did get to it yet. I have the stuff sitting here somewhere. Oh, right here. I have my Korean books right here. I haven't gotten to it yet. I thought I had more time. So you get a number, and I watched somebody afterwards. So I had to pay I wanted to have a good amount of money for tickets, because I didn't have any idea how much they were going to be. They're the biggest group in the world. Even if you haven't heard of them, they are, trust me, everywhere. And so I have a life insurance policy that earns money on it, and you can take it out. And what we do is we take a loan. We don't just take it out, and we pay it back monthly just to keep the amount it's worth up. So it's like our savings account. So I had to get my savings out, but they had to write me a check. I had to take the check to the bank, and then they held it for a day or so. I never even got to do the waiting room. But the whole world tour into the beginning of 2027 sold out in 2 days. Or what, really within a couple hours of when each city, because you only had when the city popped up, it was like that. So I'm like, crap. So like this other guy said, he's like, I lost the war, but I wasn't even in the fight. I didn't even get into the waiting room. That was me. So, hi Susie. Scooter, because you're like this with the Supernatural cast. This is what I'm like with BTS. So then my only issue with them is they trickled out information. So I was a little irritated. So a week and a half ago, they announced they were going to kick it off with a free concert. Now, this is after they announced the album. Oh, and they had pre-sales on the album for like 2 days. And I guess they capped it at 3 million. So I didn't even get to buy an album pre-order. It doesn't drop until the 20th, and their free concert is 21st. It's 14 new songs. I won't even have heard the songs before they do this. It's going to be live stream on Netflix too, by the way. Y'all need to watch it. So they announced they're going to kick it off with a free concert in Seoul. I'm like, okay. Well, then they announced the date. And the channel that I watch for BTS News, she's like, they're expecting 240,000. But she's like, I think that's too conservative. I think it's probably going to be double. And because for their anniversary last year, their 12th anniversary, 140,000 people showed up. And BTS wasn't even there. They just showed up to celebrate it and go to like their museum. And some of their family members have cafes and stuff like that. So it was like 3 o'clock in the morning one night when I got this information. And I just thought, let me go see how much tickets are to South Korea. So I looked and I'm like, the amount of money I was prepared to spend on tickets, I bought tickets to South Korea next month. And now we're trying to kill ourselves to get passports in time. So I'm going to Seoul, South Korea in March, right at my birthday. My birthday's the 19th. They go on the 21st. We're going the 18th. Actually, you fly 18th to the 19th because it's a 20-hour flight. No, but my computer I thought had crashed today. So there may be issues. I thought I was gonna have to come on my phone. So I'm going to South Korea. But what made me mad, and a lot of other people, after they announce it, after I buy plane tickets, then they announce there's going to be a lottery for 15 to 20,000 people. And I'm like, because when I show you the venue, it's a palace with a big, huge boulevard in front of it that they're going to block off. Then to get in the lottery, you had to go in their Weverse app and purchase one of the things that counted. It was the albums. And they dropped like 12 different versions of this album. Vinyls, versions, and that's what K-pop does. They at minimum, they'll drop 3 different versions of an album. The songs aren't really different, but you get a different case, when you buy their albums, you get all kinds of stuff in it. You'll get these photo cards of them. This is the leader, RM. I thought I had all of them laying here, but I don't. These came with the light I bought, because this is the kind of stuff that young girls like. I can live without this kind of stuff. I'm not into all that. I'm not related to that other Kim. Kimchi with Kim Livestream 2020. So yeah, that's another announcement I got later. So then they announced that. So I'm like, okay, fine. When I tell you all the crap that's been going on, I have been leaking money like you wouldn't believe on things going wrong. And it's been very stressful. I considered yesterday canceling, and because Google said Alaskan Airlines or Japan boat, whatever I'm on, might give us half back because it's a non-refundable ticket. I could change it, because what I told Tom was our plan B is if we don't get, we're going to expedite the passports. We tried twice this week to go get them. We have to go tomorrow morning. And that gives us exactly 4 weeks and a couple of days. And if you expedite, they say 3 to 4 weeks. So I'm stressing. Yeah, I've never been anywhere. So my husband was in the Army for 21 years. Now he did a year in Korea. But they call those hardship tours. And if you're civilian, you probably don't know what this is. People think the only time families are separated in the Army is when they're deployed. Deployment is when your whole unit goes, like war, your whole unit goes. But no, when they have what they call hardship tours, where they send you to you leave that base. It's called PCSing. And you go to a whole new base, and you in process in Korea. You're there for a year and you come back. The only way I could go is he would have to get permission, and then you have to extend for 2 to 3 years. So I was like, I didn't want that. So he did Panama for a year. He did Korea for a year. And in 2001, 9/11 happened when he was in Korea. He said they literally, side note, 9/11 happened, Korea kicked every Middle Eastern out of the country. Just right then, pack your bags, leave. Because they ain't playing, because they're still technically at war with North Korea. That's why everybody has to serve, all the men have to serve 18 months in the Army. Even big celebrities getting 50,000 Alaskan miles credit if they offer it on your flight. I hope so, because dang. dang, it's a 20-hour flight. Whoa. And I can't sleep anywhere. Tom can, because he was in the Army. Oh, so anyway, what I was getting to, in 21 years, I've been to 2 duty stations. We were in California. We closed that post, or we probably would have stayed there longer. I loved it there. We came here, and he was stationed here for 17 years. Now, technically, when you're coming back from a hardship tour, you get offered another duty station, or you come back. It's called to the same place. It's called P something. It's called something when you come back to your original station. The only choice we had was Fort Stewart, Georgia, and I didn't like the hurricanes. So I was like, no, let's just stay here. So I've never been anywhere. I've never had a passport. I didn't know how to get a passport, and that'll come in to play later because I got scammed. And for a wedding in Tulum, it's been difficult, damage, and now I need more freaking paperwork. I know. We've gone down there twice now, and to the post office, and I started my passport last week, but I got scammed. And I'm actually going to go to my bank and dispute it. And if that doesn't work, I'm taking them to small claims court for what they did. Because I Googled them afterwards, and they said they are legit, but they mislead you. And sometimes don't get your stuff to you, which they haven't held their end of the bargain. So this is my list of what has happened to me in the last 2 months, and everything under this line happened in the last 2 weeks. That's been my life. So I literally had a meltdown Wednesday, and I was ready to call the whole thing off because of all the other things that are going on. So let me show. But I've gotten more information since then, and they said they have no plans to really rope it off. So we think the 15 to 20,000 might get just up front, and then we can still all congregate in the area. I don't even care if I'm close. They're going to be streaming enough. I will literally stand there and watch Netflix if I can't see them. I got a hotel 2 blocks away. I can walk. And that's one of the reasons I jumped on it so fast, because they're so big. I knew everything was going to go up in price. I was wrong. Korea is going around and making sure no one is price gouging because of this. Hotels, restaurants, everything. They're making sure they're not doing that. Because somebody said all the hotels were sold out. And I went back on Expedia, and there's hotels everywhere reasonably priced for that area. So the only way this is going to work out is A, if I get my passport on time, and B, so my daughter, what she does, because she's a single mom and in California, paying a ridiculous amount of rent. Sometimes she has to borrow money for rent and stuff. And we're co-signed on the lease, so we're going to help her. And instead of her trying to kill herself to pay us back, she waits till tax time and pays us back then. I don't worry about like the 40 or 50. She's on my Walmart and my Amazon account. So if she has to buy $40 or $50 worth of groceries towards the end of the month, I don't even bother to keep track of that. Just the big stuff. So she owes us $2,000, and she's hoping she'll get it back by the end of February, like 1st of March. We're not flying till the 18th of March. So that will be a godsend. The shit that has happened in the last week had me in a huge panic attack yesterday. Nothing to do with YouTube. I thought Friday the 13th was last week. No shit, Becky. I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you. None of this has to do with any of the other stuff. This is just all life crap. Just everything that could go wrong has gotten wrong, and it all costs money. I'll go over that later. I want to do all the fun stuff first, and then if you don't want to stay for my boohoo session, you can leave. So, oh no, wait. Tom said there was something I forgot. Oh, what was it? Oh, I remember. Okay, no, I added it. Oh, no. Gotta add one more. Okay, gotta add one more. So yeah. So it was like, and we have this thing that if something's hard, we don't do it. That means the universe is telling us we shouldn't do it. And it's been hard. So I almost called Alaskan. So what the plan B is, see, I studied Japan all over the place. I watched some Korean creators years ago a little bit, so I know a little bit about it. Tom was there, but he wasn't anywhere near Seoul. He was at an army base, and he doesn't even remember all his Korean he knew. I'm gonna try to learn some phrases. But their Hive, their record company, is hiring 3,500 security personnel to back up the police. They're gonna have SWAT and all the police there. They said they're gonna break it up into 4 zones, and all this stuff I watched about it. So everything has me leading to believe that I will at least be able to get onto the boulevard. What I wanted to do was get a couple of folding chairs, cheap ones, and go early in the morning and try to get close. Then I watched something about Army is their fan base. In Korea, they'll name their fan base, and they call their fan base Army. Yeah, the universe can be a real bitch. Usually she tell me to wait some more. Yeah, I know. This was I've never done anything like this for the moment. If you've known me for any length of time, even if I just buy something online for $10, I'm looking at reviews. I'm looking at other stuff to see, So usually I'll have something in my cart for weeks before I buy it. And then I just I woke Tom up at 5 a.m. because I kept going in and out of the flights because and it went up once, and I'm like, let me wait. And it went back down, and I jumped on it. So, I saved about $200 or $300 on the tickets doing that. I had a chance to save another $200 on the tickets, and I didn't jump on it. But the problem with that one was the return flight was 30 hours with a 10-hour layover in LAX, which I considered doing anyway on purpose because I haven't seen my grandbaby since she turned 1 year old, and she's 3. So we would have arrived at 8:35. I was going to have Devin and my 3 grandkids come see us and go have dinner and hang out while we had the layover. Yeah, crazy for you too, Journey. Maybe it's just the universe. Sounds like everybody's having a bad week. I've had a bad couple of months. Started around Christmas and just kept. We had a little break, and then the last couple of weeks is everything. I'll watch the replay. Okay. Say hello. Thank you. I appreciate it. Real quick. Stay tuned, Becky. I'm announcing my new channel that I'm going to be using to do all the live streaming over there. So I'm going to put a little video announcement on this channel later. So just check it out later. So let me show you the venue. So they've performed in front of the palaces before. Oh, and they're dubbing this The Return. I don't know if I think that's what the tour is called. Not sure. Might be called Arirang is the name of their album. They're really leaning into their Korean culture this time. Arirang is a folk song that they sang at some festival that talks about perseverance and separation and stuff. And it's really it's almost like an anthem for the Koreans. And they're performing in front of a palace. And they're going to walk out the palace and onto the boulevard where their stage is going to be. And we assume it's going to be a 360 stage because their tour is a 360 stage. And so we're hoping for that at least. But I just this other lady, Fairlane, she's going to, and she doesn't know if she's going to win the lottery either. But she's like, it'll just be nice to be there. Well, I didn't know what we were going to do because I didn't study Korea. I studied Japan. I knew everywhere I wanted to go in Japan. Well, the government is putting on a festival. There's going to be interactive displays. There's probably a parade. I don't know. They have their own museum in the first floor of their record company's building, which is huge. because they have other they bought out, I think, Universal America. Whoever Justin Bieber's record company was, they bought that. So now they have Hybe America. Big Hit was their original, and then it turned into Hybe, and now they have a bunch of other groups. So, but BTS made this record company. They were bankrupt when they started, and when they renegotiated their contracts, they got shares in the company too. So, because it surprises me that they're only worth 20 to 30 million each, and I know they make billions. I know they've made $1 billion. That's just how the Korean record. The first contract is always very pro record company, and you can actually debut, not do well the first, and not go more than the first year, and then you leave that company in debt because now you have to pay for all the promotion, the dorm they rented for you, all the training, the putting out the album. So a lot of times these young people come out in debt, which I'm hoping that they're going to change the way that's done. They're really trying to. There was a lawsuit trying to get better rights for artists. So they're trying, but their government is very different than ours. Very different. So everybody thought BTS might leave and come to America, but they love their heritage too much. And they're really leaning into it for this tour. Now, they've done a Latin pop song. Jin dropped a country song last summer when I went to his concert. So I'm curious because V, one of the boys, he came on a live stream and he said something in Italian and he said something in Spanish. And they've done Spanish too. I said they did a Latin pop song. They didn't sing Spanish in that song. They sang Spanish in a different song. So I'm wondering if they're not going to do a couple other languages on this album because they have ARMY all over the world. So anyway, I wanted to show you the venue. Hold on. Share. How do I share? They're changing everything down here. Settings. No. Oh. Share screen. All right. Not that one. Oh, I didn't get a good picture of it. I was still trying to get a good picture of it. All right. I didn't want to bring this up in Facebook, but okay. Let's see if I can. I've never shared with. Oh, it's there. Okay. So this is the Palace. They're coming out the front, and this whole boulevard is going to be blocked off. And I don't think I can make this bigger. Yeah, I don't want to try. So it's really beautiful. I don't know what, I'm assuming it's going to be in the evening. So, all right, let me switch back. Oh, I can see it. I can't see it. So, and then let's get rid of that. Somebody just published, I just saw this. It shows what they expect it to look like. So what they're showing here, and my hotel is, can you see my cursor? I'm assuming that you can. Oop, wrong one. Okay. So they're going to come out. Oh, so this is a gate. That's not even the palace. That's just the gate. So you're going to come out the gate. They're going to come out to this stage. And my hotel is like right here. Because I didn't want to have to deal with Ubering and stuff. So we can just walk over. If I looked on another map, I could probably find my hotel. I got a pretty good deal on that. and then stop sharing. Did you guys see that? Okay, cool. So it's going to be really beautiful. I hope they do it at night. That's going to look amazing. Because when they did it before, you know, let me see if I can find that. When they did this before. BTS performing in front of a palace. I hate it when it takes me to an article and it just doesn't open the picture. I'm just going to show you the page. It might be a little small, but I'll just share the whole page. So this is, and see, they're wearing, it's probably hard for you to see, but they're wearing kind of traditional robes over their clothes. It's not completely traditional, but they do that a lot. Oh, here's they're showing the gate, what it looks like at night coming out of that palace. And then this is probably what it's going to look like. And I probably won't be able to see because I'm 5'2". So anyway, it's a 78-minute drive from the airport though to the hotel. I'm like, that's going to be expensive. I got to get new suitcases too. All I ever take is a personal and a carry-on, but I want to have something to bring. And then I don't know if you guys remember, so they have what they call an army bomb. All the K-pop groups now have a special light. Like somebody has a crown, somebody else, and it lights up, and you can Bluetooth it to the concert, and they'll control your light, and they can do words in the stands and stuff, and they can flash. Now, when I went to J-Hope and Jin, all they did was flash colors, and that was it. I didn't have it for J-Hope's in a year ago, March. That's awesome. But I had it for Jin, and so anyway, they came out with a brand new one that ours won't work the same after April. So if you're going to a concert after April, now you can still use it yourself with lights, because you can control the lights on an app on your phone too, or with a button. But I like the new one. I'll show you what I'm talking about in case you haven't ever seen that. I was going to do most of this on my other channel. I wasn't going to get into a lot of this tonight. So I'll show you that and then I'll move on. Let's see. We'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. Go to YouTube. And they call it an army bomb because it has a little piece on top that looks like a fuse. Army. Spell it right, Kim. Spell it right. Okay, this is 31 seconds. Man, one of these days I'm going to figure out how to do this. Here it is. All right, I'm going to play this. I don't know. Now, one I have doesn't have this thing in the middle, and I don't have attachments like that. That's new. And it has a cradle, so I think it's rechargeable. Could you guys see that okay? So so my plan B is I can change the tickets for a fee. So if we don't get our passports in time, I don't know if I want to go to Korea for any other thing than this. So I think I told Tom, I said, we'll just change it and we'll go to Japan for a week later on after we get our passports, like maybe the following month or something. So I'll just go to Japan like I always wanted to. And well, we're not going for a whole week. We're leaving on Wednesday the 18th and coming back Monday the 23rd. Although I'll be Monday the 23rd twice. So we leave on Monday the 23rd and we arrive on Monday the 23rd. When we leave on the 18th, but we arrive on the 19th, which is my birthday. So this is my birthday present to me. Huh? Yay! Those are cool. The new one is cool. I want that. If it's for sale, people will stand in line from the night before just to get to the merch tent. When I went to the 2 concerts, I tried to go early in the morning to the merch for J-Hope. I got there an hour after they opened, and all the Army Bombs were sold out. All the things my side were sold. There was nothing for me to buy. That's why I ended up buying a knockoff t-shirt. Somebody was sharing knockoffs. I was like, fine. Well, when Jen came up, we accidentally went the wrong way, and we passed a merch tent on the way out, and there wasn't a line. And so I was able to get a t-shirt from Jen's concert, and we're going to wear those when we go. My thumb is having issues. I need a pair of scissors to cut this. Oh, it's driving me crazy. I don't have scissors. Hello. Oh yeah, I do, right there. Hang on. Don't look at my jammy pants. There we go. Okay. So I will have more on that on my new channel as things progress. Because you guys know I've always wanted to start a fun channel just for fun to do this kind of stuff on and keep the Scientology channel separate. So I just finally started it a little while ago. So what I want from you guys is to help me with my little blurb about it. I have ideas, but let's see. Here is my new channel, which I haven't done anything yet. So my blurb, it's gonna be everything, just whatever I feel like doing. So I was thinking, I definitely K-pop. So K-pop, and I think it was, I forget, Adam or somebody said crafts with a K, which I liked. So I was gonna do, because it's Kim, K-pop, crafts, conspiracies. I could spell with a K, I guess. I don't know if that'll look right, because I like doing stuff like that. Aliens. Oh, Tom said K-pop, crafts, conspiracy, aliens, K-pop, and aliens, and K-pop and aliens. I was like, so yeah, we can put that in there. Let's see what else. Travel, I guess. Oh, I need to put BTS. Hold on. So K-pop, crafts, BTS. I know. Oh, let's put the conspiracies farther down. I wanted to do life hacks, I guess. Because anything that I've learned, and fibro. Life hacks, fibromyalgia. What else? Oh, I haven't done, so K-pop, crafts with a K. I probably will change that back though. So, because not everything's in K. BTS, life hacks, fibromyalgia. I probably should put fibro first, but I don't know. Fibromyalgia, aliens, conspiracies. I can probably leave that one off. Diet, because I'm probably going to talk about diet a lot with fibro. I should put surviving fibro. I might put that. Surviving with fibro. My fibro has been wigging out too. When I get stressed, my fibro just wigs out. Surviving with fibro. Diet. I can always add later. So I'll put that on there. Let's see. How do I edit? I'll have to do it later. I'll do it later. But if you guys think of anything, just let me know. I'm gonna put a post in the post, and you can leave comments under there. Stuff that I should put, and definitely a link to the other channel. Technically, I have 3 channels. I started a channel that I never did anything with called Welcome to Fort Cavazos. Well, now we're Fort Hood, and I was gonna drive around and just film the areas around here, because when you're coming to a new duty station, a lot of people try to nail down a rental or buy a house sight unseen. I don't know how they do it, but they do. So people are always on the Fort Hood Army spouse, or they just say spouse, Fort Hood spouse site, Facebook group, and I'm in there, and I try to help people out because I've been in Killeen now for 33 years. K-pop, especially BTS, then putting BTS every few lines. BTS times 4. Okay. For sure. I can put J-Hope since he's my bias. So what was I going to say? What I was saying. Oh, and I bought, back then I didn't know you could film with your camera or anything like that. So I bought a knockoff GoPro. Oh my gosh. I got that out because this was like 3 years ago at least. Maybe 4. Never used it. Sitting there. And I filmed with it recently, and it looked like, it's like 780p. I'm like, obviously I'll be using my phone now. So Tom was going to drive me around, and I was just going to I was going to show, so you come, I-35 cuts Texas in half from Dallas, actually Oklahoma, all the way through down south. And so we have this jut out to Fort Hood called Highway 190. Well, they renamed it Highway 14 because they made a new highway that linked a bunch of bases in the south. Adam, you're here. Good. And so then you have to come in from I-35. You could be coming from the south or the north. So I was going to film, it's about 13 miles. I was going to film coming from I-35 all the way into the base, showing where they in process at the base and stuff like that. You want to see it? Ta-da! I got it. Is it backwards for you guys or for me? Let me see it. Is it backwards? Anyway, it says End Scientology, Wagon of Justice, and then my channel at the bottom. And we're going to figure out a way to attach this that I can take it off when I fold it up. I paid extra for the plastic coating because I know I'm going to beat the crap out of it. It's not backwards? Okay. It's backwards for me. So that's why I figured it was probably straight for you. Got my license plate. Yay! I'm glad you stopped by. I was waiting to see if you would. So I just got done telling everybody I'm going to South Korea next month to a free BTS K-pop concert. I've never been out of the country. I had never been west of the Mississippi until I got married and Tom was stationed in California. Now I want nothing to do with east of the Mississippi. We're looking at land that I want to move my son and my daughter on, and me. And I need it to be either I can put an RV on it or tiny houses. So it is, Adam. I don't know who suggested that name, but it's pretty awesome. I like it because that thing is the bane of my existence. It takes up room in my truck. It's heavy, but it's a workhorse. It hasn't broken yet. So, oh, nope. I just remembered something else that happened. Where's my list? Tom forgot about it too. It's all his fault. Holy crap. This was last month. Hold on. Okay. When you get to South Korea, you can protest the Moonies. I thought about it. Is there Scientology in South Korea? I don't know the Moonies, but I would go and make a sign and bring it with me if there's, and just go out there for a little while and let them know. Because they probably don't have a lot of protesters in Korea. Let me look that up. I never even looked that up yet. I haven't actually done any planning yet. I've had so much going on since last week, since I bought the plane tickets and everything, and they keep changing it. I haven't had a chance to really look. Stuff's trickling out all the time. Is there a Scientology organization in South Korea? Oh, yes. Scientology affiliated organizations. Youth for Human Rights International. I can find out where they're at. Scientology volunteer ministers. Activity focus. Public outreach. If I could find their office, I could go do that. And I bet Journey could help me with that. She knows where everything's at. So, thank you. That's a good suggestion. I hadn't even looked that up yet. Now I did go. We were originally, I always try to make it a short. I was going to try to fly in on Friday, go to the concert, and leave Monday. And I was like, I don't want to rush. I want to have time. Oh, yes, I do. Let me put that in my notes. My Korea notes. Oh, that's a recipe. Where's my Korea notes? Here we go. You're right. I've seen people there protesting and walking in a group with a picture and a candle. So, but you're right. Find out protest rules. Okay, got that. Good. That's why I like talking to you guys. It's stuff I don't think about. I probably would have just showed up. Does he? Cray pop. Let's see. I'm trying to think of all the good things before I get into the other thing. So that's going to be super fun. So like I said, I'm the kind of, Tom calls me a pessimist. I said, no, I'm a realist. I said, I always expect the worst. I prepare for the worst. And when that doesn't happen, I'm pleasantly surprised. So I always prepare for the worst. And the worst is we don't get our passports in time. So I will reschedule and we will go to Japan, where I know more about, and just do the touristy thing there for a few days. Because he only has a week paid leave right now, so we can only go for a week. So, and luckily his weekends are Tuesday and Wednesday night. So we leave on his weekend and we come back on his weekend. So he'll have a day to 2 days to recuperate before he has to go back to work. I'm only going to miss one weekend of work, so that's pretty cool. And I've never had a job where I had vacation time before I'd been there for a year. But I had 22 hours of PTO. I was like, cool, I only need 16. Because this is expensive. So I got the hotel. I got a really good hotel. I made sure that they do different things there, that it had a mini fridge. So, and I always do that because so I can bring my own water bottles and things like that. And it has a communal kitchen, so we can save some money, maybe eating breakfast or stuff at the hotel and making it ourselves, and then going out to eat, because the food is a big deal over there. I want to really try some food, but I can't handle spicy stuff. See if Austin has an It's Easy franchise. I know, I checked them. We have one here, or an office somewhere around here. But on top of the $130 fee plus 35, so it's 165 for the passport. Then for a 5 to 7 day expedite, it's another $350. And I looked them up, and they said they do is they courier it to where it needs to go. Online told me that it's not necessarily faster than expediting the passport itself, because you're still at the whim of the passport office. So what I am going to do is send it in a priority envelope, and you can send a priority or an overnight envelope to get it back. And it's like $22 for that. It's going to be like almost $500 for 2 passports. Has a new band called STS. You guys, I swear. All right. So if you weren't here earlier, I have had a disastrous couple of weeks, but a really disastrous, since this is my list of all the things that have gone wrong in my life since Christmas. Let's start in order. So back at Christmas, and it always happens after it freezes, but he talked to a buddy that is a plumber, and we do have roots. The thing is, our house is only 30 years old, but the pipes that we hooked into are from the 60s, and there's trees out by the road. So there's old roots going through that sewer area. So, and then there's a piece they need to fix, but we have to get that fixed first before we call the city. So I really like the Korean late night host Jimmy Kimmel song. I know, that's funny. So that backed up right, I think right around Christmas. So that was the 3rd year in a row it happened in winter when it froze. So luckily, by the time he was ready to work on it, it had warmed up, which it does here. It can drop. There was one night I went to work last month that it was 81 degrees when I got there, and it was 39 degrees when I left. I go in at 6 p.m. and I leave at 6 a.m. And that is not that weird. So it felt weird. So the only place to get the size auger we need is Waco. So we would have to go on his weekend, go rent it for $120, drag it back, do whatever he needed to do in that one day, and then he would go to work that night and then drop it off in the morning when he got off work. And it was horrible. So we decided to go ahead and buy one. So we bought one. We bought a 1/2 inch with insurance and taxes. It was $350. Get it? It's too small. It's too small in diameter, because he has to, from our clean out to where the roots are is about 75 feet. So we got a 100-foot auger. Luckily, we have clean outs. Our neighbors don't. And so when it backs up in the yard instead of in the house. So any of you that own a house, have a clean out in your yard for that reason alone. So luckily, because it was backing up at the street, not in the house, it never backed up in the house. It would just come up and back up into the yard. So because we have 2, it was awesome. We keep them covered with this cover, and you can't see it because they're green in the grass. So, and you can mow over top it. Anyway, too small. I'm like, all right. So we go back on the site, and the one we need with insurance and everything was over $700. So we called to do the exchange, and they're like, well, we'll give you a $90 credit if you keep it. And we're like, deal. Because it's skinny enough to use up in the house. Because to go in the house, you got to do a bunch of turns. So he's like, okay, cool, fine. Deal. And one of the biggest reasons we bought is they delivered. and he didn't have to go pick it up because the new one is so heavy. So we ordered the new one. It was 3/4 inch. It's a lot because you have to feed it 75 feet, and it's got a saw on the end to saw the roots out. So anyway, poor guy was out there dealing with nastiness. The guy is awesome. And then both of us were sick for a while. I think I didn't film 1 week. He's been like sick off and on I'm starting to worry about him. He's got a cough that he can't get rid of. Keep the auger for ice fishing. Yep. So that was then. So then, no, this really started in January towards the end. So the first thing then was I didn't get the tickets. So then last weekend, this really isn't all in order. When I work extra during the week, I work the same shift as Tom. On the weekends, we both have to drive to Waco, and we work 2 blocks apart. And we leave at the same, like I work 12 hours and he works 8. He doesn't want to sit there for 4 hours. Well, because we're carpooling, he has to go 4 hours early. So last weekend, we leave in his vehicle because he gets better gas mileage. And we get 2 exits from the house and it's running rough. He pulls off. And I'm like, he's checking things. He's like, it might be fluid, might be oil. I said, well, we won't be late because I like to leave really early. Plus, he had to drop me off and get to work. I said, look, it'd take us a few minutes to go get the truck. Let's just go get the truck. And he's like, no, we'll be fine. So we go to work. We leave work in the morning and we get a little ways and the radiator exploded. And I was like, oh my God. So we're still 42 miles from home. Guess how much it is to tow a car? 42 miles. $240. And that's not even counting what we're going to need to fix it. And we put a new engine in that thing 7 years ago. And everything attached to the engine. So that was fun. Yeah. So we still have to fix it too. We haven't even got it. We haven't even got to take it into the mechanic yet. So there's that. So then my truck started running hot the same weekend the next day when we took my truck. And now we're like, oh my God. So he's like, I go, and remember it froze here. It got to 9 degrees last month. I think that was, yeah. It got to 9 degrees and our vehicles are not used to that. I said, do you have the right fluid in there? He says, yes, I do. He said, there really isn't a different coolant anymore. It's all weather all the time. I'm like, okay, fine. And he does try to stay up on the oil and stuff. We don't get tune-ups. He does everything. That's why we won't buy a new car because he can't work on them. And I'm not going to pay the astronomical prices of these mechanics. He tries to do as much as he can. So, then I almost got fired. I was fired, actually. But my boss saved my butt. I can't go into the details because I have an NDA, but I didn't think I was messing up because I'm very rules. I don't color outside the lines. And what it is it's really hard. I know it's really hard to communicate because we only see the person we relieve for about 10 minutes. We do pass downs and we move on. So when I first started, other officers are trying to train me. And one of them said, we have a section up front and then we have the rest of the facility. And they said this section, up front is separate personnel from the facility and that we don't worry about them. Like I took that to heart thinking we don't have authority over them. So they did something that they shouldn't have. And I should have asked somebody, should they be doing that? And I didn't. And it was right after somebody else got fired for something very egregious. So it was really bad timing. So that was it. But yeah. And then I got scammed on my passport. So yeah, I was freaked out because this was bad timing. And honestly, though, I was less upset about getting fired and more upset that my boss possibly and the person upstairs who doesn't know me, I never see because I work weekends, thinks I'm untrustworthy. And I would never have done that on purpose. I wouldn't break a rule on purpose. It was just different communications over the last, it's almost a year since I started, just took me down the wrong idea path on the way that worked. So now everything by the book. So then I go online to get my passport. That day that I got the tickets, Tom was asleep, not helping me, because he's gotten one before, because he didn't need a passport when he got deployed with the Army, but he did a civilian tour for 14 months right after he retired. He went to Iraq. Yeah, when the last 5,000 soldiers left Iraq, the civilian workers were still there, and the mortar attacks started hitting 10 times more. When I say Tom had to go to the bunker while we were live streaming or Facebook, whatever, FaceTiming, wasn't kidding. That was so dumb. So they had to try to get out of Iraq with no security, with no soldiers there. That was scary. So sorry. I didn't mean to eat ice on you. I'm used to doing it all the time. Got dry mouth. So, but he had to renew his because it's only good for 10 years, and he did that in 2010. So, so I go online. Okay, I think I'm back. I can tell when I'm gone. It starts doing the circle. Yeah, I drink a lot of ice water and I eat the ice. Can you have professional expertise with home hospice care and things like that? No, but I went through hospice care with my mom, so I could probably give you some advice from what I had to deal with. That's it, because they tried to do hospice with her at home, and they realized that wasn't going to work, and then they moved her to a really nice hospice facility. It was really nice. It was like a house. It was so nice. But then my father-in-law went to hospice in a hospital, and the room was barely big enough for the bed and 2 people. That was horrible because I think he was on Medicare. So if you have any questions on that, I could probably help you out a little. Other than that, not professional. I've never done healthcare. I knew I could never do work in the medical field. I don't know what to say to people when they're sick. I don't know, because I know when big things happen to me, I don't really want to talk to anybody. So I don't necessarily bother people when something like that's happening, just to give them space. So where was I? Okay. So I go on, it says get your new passport. I fill everything out. They give me a fee. They give me an expedite fee, and I pay it. $247. So the next day, Tom wants to do his. He's like, what site did you go to? I'm like, the site you get your passport. Just Google it. You're a justice nurse. Okay. All right. That's funny. Where was I? No, it wasn't the right site. It's called GovPlus. Thought it was the right place. All they do, I paid $247 for them to fill out the forms for me, which is not even 2 whole pages. And I was supposed to get them in 3 days. They're still not here. That was Wednesday last week. So I'm going to my bank, and because I've disputed stuff before, and because then Tom looks at the bank and they took out another $299. Yes. And I know better. I know there's sponsors, but I thought passports, only the government can do that. I didn't know. I'm stupid. I mean, I should have scrolled more. if Tom had been awake, I would have been showing it to him. So I Googled them to see if they were a legit site. They said, yeah, they're legit, but they are misleading, and you don't always get the stuff in the time they say. So they broke their part of the contract, and they took out money I didn't authorize, and they were misleading, I think is what I may have already said that. So if the bank can't help me, I'm taking them to small claims court, and they have to show up here where I file. So they can pay me my $550 back, or show up, pay a lawyer to show up. So I'm not letting this go. So in a week, what is that? $240 for the tow. Oh, and so the extra time I worked that week went to the tow. $547, $546. $746 in a week. And I'm supposed to be saving for a trip. Oh, let me go back. Wait a minute. There's another $500 in January. Yeah. And then there's another $500 in January. So Tom has a lead foot. I will be with him, and he'll be on the access road doing 60 and 45. And I'm like, Tom, quit trying to give the city our money for no reason. And that's how I say it. I don't speed because I don't want to give them my money. I got that when I worked at the police station. I saw 500 traffic tickets go across my desk every week. And there was the Quattro, I called it. And it was driving while license suspended, no insurance, no registration, no inspection. A lot of money. So I don't want a ticket. So anyway, last time he got a ticket, he contacted a lawyer that does this and gets it dismissed. Well, last time the ticket itself was under $300, and you can take, for one time a year, you can take defensive driving, and the ticket won't go on your record or your points on your driver's license. He could have done that. Well, they got it dismissed for $300, but then you had to pay $97 in court fees. So it ended up costing us more. Well, this time it's not. It's going to save us money because dummy was speeding in a construction zone. We go through a construction zone in Waco every day. They're replacing this whole bridge. It's going to take a year, I think. And it's 55. He was doing 85, and this cop was between a car and a truck, and he flew by him. And luckily the guy wrote 85 allegedly, because it's really hard for them to clock you when they're behind other vehicles and you're moving. I know. I was livid. This is before because I wanted to get, I finally had picked out this cover for the bed of my truck. It's not a cap. Those are like $3,000. I found a cover for $500 that just covers the bed, and you fold it to get in, and you can lock it. So I can put my protest stuff in there. It's hard plastic. I know. And he speeds it, and he got the ticket he got was on the way to work doing 80 and a 65 in the city. And I'm just like, my man, come on. So that was another $500 out the window. So since Christmas, we spent $1,100 on augers, $500 on a ticket. So that's $1,600 plus $740. Oh my God. Ooh. $2,740 $346. Jeez. I think that's 2 of my paychecks. Maybe 3. Holy crap. Yeah. And plus, we pretty much get most of the kids' Christmas. Thank God I had already done that in December. Holy but Jesus. I pretty much let the kids pick out what they wanted. All right. We're only right here. We still have all of this. Not done yet. So let's cross. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, I missed the very first thing. Sorry. I'm the guy in the Subaru infuriating Tom. Yes. I'm the same way when they do that. Yep. Oh my God, that drives me so mad. Because we have 3 lanes. It's 75. And these idiots will get in the left lane doing 73 and pace in the other 2 cars with 15 cars behind them. Then we all go around them and they see us go around them. And I'll look in my rear view a mile back and they're still there. They didn't move over. That's when I get my road rage. I found out my truck could do 100 one day. Oh, I forgot about the very first thing. Right before the sewer backed up, our dishwasher died. So I forgot about that. Dishwasher died. I haven't bought a new one yet because I'm broke. So luckily we get factor meals. So I haven't had much dishes. But I had loaded the dishwasher when it died. And so a couple weeks went by because then the sewer backed up and I couldn't even do dishes. I had to put the dishes in the tote. I still had the dishes in the dishwasher. When I got those dishes out of the dishwasher, y'all, there was a science experiment going on in there. Holy crap. A couple things got ruined and thrown away. Plastic things. So forgot about the dishwasher. And that's going to be $700 when I buy a new one because I want one similar to the one we had. What I liked about the one we had is it in the disposal, it had a blade and it wasn't even that old. That's what makes me mad. The one we paid $200 for many years ago lasted a good long time. I'm pretty sure we bought this one right around COVID. So it only lasted 5 years. Because I think it died before Christmas. So 20, yeah. So I'm like, so I'm not very happy about that. All right, let's see. So let's cross. So dishwasher died. Sewer backed up. Had to buy augers. We were sick. Didn't get tickets. Truck died. Had to tow it. Still got to pay. Still got to fix it. My truck was running hot. Almost fired. Got scammed. And still can't get passport. So we go in on Tuesday to get the passport and find out there's only certain times of the day they do it. It's from 3 to 4, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning. Like, okay, fine. We get the forms. We go home. We got the information. We try to go on Wednesday. So we're going to cross a lot of things off on Wednesday. Wednesday, I had 2 meltdowns. I was just like, why? Why, God? Why? Why, universe? Whatever. Why? Why us? Why me? Why me? So I had to work Wednesday night, but I still got us up at 2 p.m. so we could get up, fill out. We'd fill out the forms. But we figured out, I had my parents' birth dates wrong. We got all their paperwork out. So we're going to fill them out, go get some more. Now I can see why people, because when I Googled the service that filled out our forms, so they said some people like the fact that they fill out the form and everything's right. I can see why. Because we went through about 6 forms a piece, maybe more. Because you make one mistake, you got to start over. It was ridiculous. So we never went Wednesday because everything went wrong. I'll be control coordinator and from distance. All time to assemble an Ocean's 11 type crew. Yes. Yes, just to get me my passport. Damn. But yeah, I need that. I need a heist to cover all of this because it's going to be $500 for the passport too. Oh, and the tickets were $2,000. So, ugh. So let's add that. We don't make this. The only reason I got the tickets is we got our savings out. So holy crap! I wish I hadn't done these numbers. I'm starting to get. Oh, my chest starting to tighten. I do 80 and a 20. I call that Pareto driving. Oh. Oh my goodness. I need water. I'm still going. We're in an hour and a half. Seal Bill. All right. I know these are all first world problems. I get it. Things could be worse. I know that. So I've been fairly calm this whole time. But that day, just too much. Too much. Oh, wait. Gotta add. This is that day was a 5-parter. I'm sorry. Oh, nope. Gotta add that too. So I'm at 19, 20, 21 incidents. Okay, so Wednesday. I get Tom up and he says he's going to take a shower. So I can't take my bath. We only have an hour. So I'm going to do that when we get home. Fine. So I have to go in and fix my hair and do this from being back here. Oh my God, my hair did not want to work. 3 times I wet it and redid it. So that was driving me crazy. I go out. Tom's nowhere to be found. He's gone. He went to get coolant at the auto parts store, and he was fiddling with everything till 3. We were supposed to leave before 3. So he comes in. I'm like, my man. So he sits down at 3 to fill out his form. They're only open 3 to 4. It's not close. And at 3:30, I'm like, my man, what are you doing? I'm like, he finally goes and gets dressed. We got in the car at 3:48, and he wants to try to make it. Now, with his lead foot, we probably would have. But I said no, because it says here on the form that just because you're in the room at 4, if you're not at the counter, they won't take you. Scientologist piano lessons scammer got a ticket for doing 70 and 35 near Flag. I think I heard about that. I think I did hear about that. I know, Scooter. I might have you call him, set him straight, because holy crap. So I was just like, we're just not going. Then I go, and you guys will understand, especially housewives. You go in the kitchen to do one thing and end up doing 3 other things. So I went in and I made my coffee. The lid was still off because I hadn't put the sugar in yet. So it's sitting on the counter over there. I'm over here putting some dishes away because I put my almond milk in a glass pitcher because I want to see it before it molds. When it starts to go bad, I'll know because it lasts kind of a long time. So I want to be able to see it because somebody he told me a story about how somebody was drinking their almond milk. And they got to the bottom and the whole bottom was molded because it's in a carton, the waxy carton. You can't see it, so that's why I do that. So I was washing the pitcher out, turned around, reached for something, and knocked it all over the counter. And there was I had some other stuff that wasn't kitchen related sitting on the counter because it just went everywhere. This whole thing went everywhere. Like, holy crap. Tom's laying back in bed at this point. And I'm just in there cursing and cleaning. CO Bill, his keys to life course sucks. Okay, fine. I remake it. And then I have my ice cup too, which I don't always have water in. Sometimes I just eat ice. I go in the bedroom. I sit it on my nightstand. And actually, my vanity sits next to the bed. It's an old, I think it's called mid-century modern. It's really low. It has the big round mirror and glass shelves in the middle. It was my grandmother's. And it's got glass on the top She had them made to keep it nice, but it's that veneer and you can't get it wet. So anytime I spill something on that thing, it's like a hazmat spill. No joke. So it went all over me. It took us a little bit because I had the lid on at this point. And I'm like, I freaked out. He just said, just go. I got this. Just go. Come to find out, it was actually my ice that spilled all over my leg. So it was just water. But a little bit of coffee went down the back. And so I took the glass off. I'm cleaning the glass. And we have to get behind it. This is what I had to add. New floor. He pulls the vanity out. Yeah. Well, I did that thing. You know, people think it's bougie, but it actually serves a purpose. I have all those clear containers in my fridge, and I have the stuff in those because if something, it is a pain in the butt to take the shelves out and wash those when there's a spill or something sticky. This way, I can take the container out and clean it and put it back. That's why I did it, because I'm a germaphobe. I haven't gotten to the shelves in the door yet. Because I like to clean things off from the store before I put it in my fridge to keep the nastiness down. But anyway, so he pulls the vanity out. And we knew it was tilted a little bit. But we thought that was from a leak that we had from the rain, that from the roof. No, it was much worse. So that's the wall between our room and the laundry room. Well, in the laundry room, he had put a new floor down, a big, thick piece of plywood and new flooring, because we got heavy. We don't live on a slab. We don't have a slab foundation. So he wanted to shore it up for these huge front loader machines that we got. Well, we think when the sewer was backing up 3 years in a row, that it was leaking out the back of the washer under the wall, and we didn't see it because it was going, possibly because the floor is higher in the laundry room than everywhere else. So it didn't come out where we could see it. He pulled that out, and he calls me at work that night. He's like, I'm going to have to cut out that whole floor and replace it. Which he hasn't gotten to yet because it was too late at night to cut wood. So now we have to work until he doesn't have a day off until Tuesday. So now my vanity is in the middle of the bedroom. There's a bunch of wood there. So now he has a new home project. So there's the new floor. Got to put a new floor in right there. Got to go to Lowe's and try to find some vinyl tiles that match. All right, where are we at? Oh, and I'd only slept about 3-4 hours before we got up for the passport, and I never did get to go back to sleep. But luckily, I only worked 8 hours, 10 to 6, but that was rough. That was rough. So I got no sleep. So that was all this day. So all that. Okay. So Thursday, we get there at 3. He gets the new forms. We're sitting in the car trying to fill them out. It took us 30 minutes to get these forms right. We go in. There's 20 people in line, all for the passport desk. There's one lady doing it in the post office over at the side. And I'm standing. I went in first. He was still finishing up. And she said, all y'all in the back, I'm not going to get to you. I'm like, so now we have to go back Saturday morning, and they do it like, I think 8:30 to 12. We're going to be there. Tom gets home at 7 from work. Well, we both do, actually. We're just going to stay up and go to the post office. So we had to leave. Then, this is the first income I've had since 2010, since I got sick. And the last 2 years, we've never owed before. But we owed. So we're paying the IRS monthly payments for the last 2 years. So Tom, because they couldn't get it right from his job, he had them take an extra so much a month for the IRS to make sure we didn't owe this year. We probably wouldn't have if I hadn't gone to work. Now, I filled out the form in a way that they would take out the most money. Well, I have come to find out that other people have had this similar problem at this company. He gets my W-2 form. They took out, guess how much money they took out towards taxes? $91. $91 total for 9 months. So we're going to owe again. There's taxes. Got that. Then Saturday or Sunday morning. I know. I don't know how much we're going to owe. And they charge you a whole bunch of crap when you're making payments. I'm just like, so if I hadn't bought the tickets, hadn't done any of that stuff, hadn't got all this stuff, we probably could have just paid the taxes. He hasn't done them yet. So Sunday morning at work, I have a badge and I have a set of keys, and I normally keep them in separate pockets. But when I take the Tesla on patrol, I put them up here on my coat because you have to badge out the window. And when I get there, I have to go open the gate and come back in. Because I can badge out the back, but I have to unlock and move a gate to come in. I walked inside, took the keys off, was debating about keeping my jacket on, went in the room that has the thermostat to see if I could turn up the heat because it was chilly. And I did. I stepped in something sticky. So I walk out into the lobby and I'm trying to get it off my shoes. I don't want to track it behind the desk. So I go outside to scrape my shoes off. Guess what I forgot? I locked myself out at 3 a.m. And I had to call my boss to come unlock and let me in. Right after, the week before, I almost got fired. Because I locked myself out last March, a year ago. And one of the officers said, well, you keep the keys separate in one pocket. If you lay one down, you have the other. I'm like, that makes sense. Because I can get in either way. Actually, if I'm outside the gate and I only have my badge, actually, I can't get back in. There's nowhere to badge in outside. But still. Yeah, you remember that. I know. Because then the following month, in April, I got stuck in the elevator. I'm like, so what I told him? I said, well, it's been a year since I did it. I'll try to make the next time I do it 2 years. So he was good about it with me, but I felt like that's when I was upset. I was upset. I was like, I was ready to cancel the trip and just stop. Then Tom pulls in this morning to pick me up. Oh, I can do this out of order. I already talked about the passport costing being astronomical in price. Okay, now I'll do these in order. So Tom was 45 minutes late picking me up because we work, like I said, we work in the same area of town. And he has a property down the street, right? Literally a street down from the property I have to check at night with the car that they own. Well, he was picking up his relief from their parking lot because it's a pretty good distance because they don't want to take up parking for customers. So they park in a gravel parking lot. So he takes the car and either the car or sometimes the golf cart, depending. And he was picking up his relief. And he gets a frantic call from the people from his building saying one of them was coming in and they heard a gunshot. So Tom races the 4 blocks, maybe 5. Anyway, I could hear. So to down there and finds out it was not a gunshot. It was a body hitting the ground behind her from a bridge. So me and my boss, who comes in on Monday, and I'm talking to him, we hear the sirens and going by us. And Tom calls me and says, I'm going to be late. Some crazy guy tried to commit suicide jumping off a bridge, only it's not high enough to kill you. It's just a normal road bridge, probably 2 stories off the ground, maybe 3. But he was effed up. So when he picked me up, he told me he was conscious, and he was telling my boss what the guy said. The guy said, he goes, "Please help me die. I'm the devil." I think that's what he said. I was like, woo. Woo. So, hope they help that guy out. So there's that. That guy jumped off the bridge and he was late. When he picked me, and right about the same time, he says, "Well, I figured out what's wrong with your car. There was a puddle underneath the radiator. My radiator has a crack or a leak or something, probably from the freeze. Who knows? I don't know." Wait a minute. Let me check. So we haven't even looked at a new radiator. He's going to just try to keep the coolant in it for now because he had to go to work. Let's see. Radiator for 2012 GMC. That's not so bad. Still. 120, 154, 118, 134. Not sure which one. And Tom thinks he can put it in. So my radiator needs replaced. That's probably what was wrong with Tom's car. We're hoping that's all it was, is the radiator. But we haven't even gotten to take, it's $100 and something just to get it diagnosed, and we haven't done it. So we got those down. New radiator. And then today, my computer decided to try to crash. It wasn't accepting my charger. It was going to black screen, saying it was starting up. Then it was saying installing updates. Then it said diagnosing problems, and then it go off. And it did that like 5 times in a row. I'm like, so I just closed it. I put in a phone charger. The phone charge, they said on Google that the phone chargers are only like 45. It may charge the computer, because this takes a C charger because it's a Samsung. It may charge it slow or not at all. So I went to sleep for about 3 hours. It was charged when I woke up. It came on. A couple weird screens popped up. They went away. I need to call somebody, and because I have tech support. Well, I ordered a new charger, same day delivery. It's plugged in. It's recognizing it, because it was saying it wasn't plugged in. And I was afraid I was having the same problem you had, Scooter, where the port itself was bad, because it wasn't reading the phone chargers either. But whatever was going on, it's done. The last thing is kind of TMI. If you're a guy, do this. I've had a UTI for 6 weeks because I haven't had a chance to even try to go to the doctor. So I've been doing over-the-counter stuff. Well, the last time I had a kidney infection, the antibiotics didn't work. What worked was I was in Oklahoma coming home from Ohio. I had to go to the emergency room in Ohio twice. I was on a trip there. I found an Indian store, and it said burdock root cleans the kidneys. So I made burdock root tea, and I got rid of the kidney infection in 3 days with burdock root tea. So I just got me some more burdock root, and I put it in my coffee. Yeah, I know. I've got that too. Cranberry juice. I got that too. I take cranberry capsules too all the time. But it's already better. I started this 2 or 3 days ago. A couple times, 2-3 times a day in my coffee, and it's starting to feel better already. So now, the only other thing that can go wrong after this is I don't get my passports in time. So I'm done. What was that? What was that thing I said I was gonna add? I added the ticket. Oh, the ticket. Oh, and in April, he'll have to pay the court costs if they just get it dismissed. But it was cheaper because he was in a construction zone, and I think the tickets he was doing 85 and a 55. I think the ticket was going to be $1,000. So he paid $500 to the lawyer. The court fees should be hopefully around $100, and he doesn't have to do it till April. I was like, thank God. Oh, and if Devin's taxes don't come in time, we will have to be frugal when we take our trip, which I can do. I've done it every time I've traveled. I've eaten several ramen in the room, sandwiches or whatever. I can do that. No problem. The only thing I'm not thrilled about is one of the biggest reason I picked Japan was, and I follow it a lot, creators there and stuff. A British guy, a Canadian girl, they got engaged, and they've been living in Japan for like 10 years. In Japan, nobody smokes outside. Everything's clean. They have smoking rooms outside. Korea is not quite as strict. So I'm hoping I don't have to deal with a lot of that. A lot of people smoking outside or in places I want to go in or restaurants. I don't know what their laws are there as far as smoking. I know they probably smoke in bars, but I mean, I was so happy when they banned it in my town because the Applebee's, had a smoking section. I mean, I remember some of us are old enough to remember when you could smoke on an airplane. That makes so much sense. And in hospitals. That's why these futuristic movies, like they did it in Aliens, they're in space and they're smoking. I'm like, there is no way that a futuristic company with spaceships would allow people to smoke when you only have a certain amount of oxygen. That's so dumb. They get nicotine patch, my man. Jeez. I don't understand. That's the only thing I hate about sci-fi. I watch a lot of sci-fi. So, if you got, everybody here get this? I don't know if you got to see this, Seal Bill. I got my license plate. Yay, it's going to my wagon. Adam named it the Wagon of Justice. So, I finally got that. So, yeah, now I ordered that before the tickets. So, because now I got to be super frugal. Super, super, super frugal. Yeah, I know, Nicole. It's got, inside, and it's got my channel, and I'm going to put it on the back of my wagon. I'm going to make it so I can put it on and off, because I have to fold the wagon up, and I don't want it to get all scratched up. South Korea, smoking is prohibited. Yes! All indoor public places, including restaurants, cafes, public transportation, as well as in designated outdoor non-smoking areas. Yay! Thank you for looking that up. That makes me so much happier. So much happier. Because I honestly can't handle it. If I walk through somebody's cloud, it will set off my asthma. Don't let it fall off and lose it. Yeah, I'm going to put it on with probably some D-rings. Tom's really good at coming up with stuff. He's got every power tool known to mankind. He's always good at coming up with stuff like this. Because I don't want somebody to I don't want to do Velcro or anything like that. So we might put it on with maybe some zip ties and some D-rings that are hard, because the frame of my wagon crisscrosses metal like this, and that's how I have a net now that I put over all my stuff, because I've had stuff disappear, and I'm pretty sure somebody walked behind me and took it out of my wagon. So I got these motorcycle nets. I used to have one for my bike, but it was old and ratty. Because I used to put on my little tiny back seat with my net. I had a duffel bag. Because I used to ride to work, and I worked in an office, so I would get to work an hour early and put my skirt on and do my makeup and do my hair, because I could get 50 miles to the gallon on my bike, and that was when gas prices was high. But that was like more than 15 years ago, 16, 17, 18 years ago. So, but anyway, so I got that. And then I'm going to make some better signs for the side too. So when I'm walking, because my sign's upside down when I'm walking, so people can see what I'm there for. And, they might stop and talk to me while I'm walking. That's another reason I started filming while I'm walking. Yeah, I still have it, but it's been wrapped up in the garage. Yeah, I had my dad in 96 knew he was going to pass away soon and didn't tell me. And he came to visit for like 6 weeks. He said, because he lived in New Orleans and he had the same security job for 14 years in one of the hotels near Bourbon Street. And he said he was going to Nevada, like Vegas or Laughlin, to get a new job. That's not what was going on. And he had a really bad accident on his bike. It was a 1989 Honda Rebel, 250cc. My dad was 6 foot tall and rode that little thing. It was little. When I was riding that, so anyway, he wanted to get it in my name. I'm like, so you have a near-death accident on your motorcycle and you want to give it to me now? We were Scooter, and then he quit. He forgot. It's out there probably rotting. It probably needs new tires. It probably needs an overhaul. But we tried to see if we could trade it in or sell it, and they didn't want to give me enough for it to even bother. And I've been really looking hard at making it into a trike, like taking the back tire off, putting a whole new rear end on. That's expensive. But Tom found a few years ago a trike kit that you can put on and off like training wheels, and you don't take your rear wheel off. And I've been thinking it was like, but it's still like $3,000. So, because what it is, when I got sick, I had to quit riding because one of the biggest things I lost was my balance. And I did try to ride it. We got it running a few years in, and I just went up the street, turned around, and fell over. And I've never dropped my bike before. And it was just, I was turning around doing about 10 miles an hour. And I just went about 6 houses down. And this lady stopped. Are you okay? Are you okay? I said, yeah, my bike just fell over. I go, can you see those guys in the yard down there? I go, can you go tell them to come up here and get me? Because I couldn't lift my bike. And she goes down there and tells them, there's a lady down there that had a motorcycle accident. You need to go help her. They were like losing it. Outlaw SPMC will be our fence when we strip all the chrome and mahogany wainscoting from the ideal org to pay unanticipated bills. Yeah, I helped start a women's riding group in Temple, Texas. It's a chapter of a world. Women in the Wind is the nation chapter. We named ourselves the Lone Star Ladies, and our colors were teal and purple. So that was my new bike that I bought in 93, end of 93. So I rode that till I got sick in 2010. But Tom never rode. While he was in the Army, he said he took it around the block one time, and this old lady pulled out in front of him, and you are using both hands and both feet. You've got clutch here, gas here, shifter on this foot, and a brake on this foot. So and this is the front wheel, and your right leg is the rear wheel. You have to do them both at the same time. If you've ever seen anybody stop and their rear end go up, that's because they only hit the front brake. You don't want to do that. He somehow got himself stopped. An amateur rider, hardly rode at all. And he's like, I'm done. He's like, as long as I'm the provider, I'm not riding. And he told me I couldn't ride unless I wore my helmet, because you don't have to wear a helmet here. And I'm glad I did, because I got that bike in November and I ran off the road in our first women's ride. And they decided to take this really curvy. I mean, these women were like, I was like 30 is, I don't know. No, I was, well, yeah. About 30. And they've been riding for 20, 30 years. Well, because I taught myself to ride. So Dad gave me the bike and then he left. And I had to teach myself to ride. I just went to a parking lot and just did circles. My biggest fear was stopping. And had I taken a class, I would have never had that accident. I think I saw that. I didn't realize they were technically matching. Oh, let me see. Hold on. Let me bring up my Facebook real quick. I think I have a picture on there. Let's see. Photos. So Tom, we did another ride where Tom went with us, but he was in the car, the backup, just, in case we have issues or whatever, like I did. Now this is when I was really overweight. But I got a Honda Shadow because I'm 5'2", and it was the only bike I could sit on and my feet touch the ground. I know it's here somewhere. Tom did albums. Let's see. I think it'd be under. Nope. Family. I might have. Oh, there it is. Found it. I was at my heaviest in this picture. So that was because I had gastric bypass in 2006. So this was pre-2006. Well, this would have been 1994, actually. Hold on. Let me find you guys again. There you are. That's me on my bike. Now, when I bought this bike, it was red. But when I wrecked it in January of 94, 4 of the 6 pieces, this cover is plastic. There's one on each side. The tank, this fender, and this fender. All this side was all tore up. And I was like, I didn't want red, but they didn't have black in stock when I bought it. So I said, well, if I pay for the extra piece, can we just get 94 black parts? And we did. So I was doing the red, white, and blue. And I started that because I had the red bike. And that's why I have the helmet. The helmet had a really cool Angry Eagle on it. Let's see. When you start riding your motorcycle, don't ride like Pee Wee Herman. What I did is on a bike, if you're going around a curve, you actually have to start speeding up to keep your momentum. Well, this bike, I'd only had this bike since November, December, so not even 3 months. And this was a very, very curvy road, and they were going super fast. They were doing like 60 around these curves. And I'm like, I don't want to do 60 around these curves. So I see this curve. It's going to S curve. It's going to do this and then this. And I couldn't see the end for the trees. And I started letting off my gas, and I started to slide this way. And my rear tire hit the gravel, and I knew if I hit the gas, I was going to wipe out on the street, on the road. So because it was a curve, the barbed wire fence on the pasture went like this, so there's a lot of grass. So I made the decision to take the grass, and I probably got down to about 40 miles an hour by the time I hit the grass. And what I would have been fine, probably no damage, no nothing, but it had poured down rain. Our winter is rain, not snow. It had poured rain the day before, and it was just mud. And my front tire hit that mud and just stopped. That front fender, underneath that fender, was packed mud. And it fell over, and I kept going. Well, somehow in that split second, all I could think was grab your head and roll. And I did. I walked away. I had some road rash because I wasn't wearing my leathers. I hurt my ankle when I broke the peg off by where my foot on my left, and some bruising. That was it. But I was like, I was more humiliated than anything. Yeah. And one person tried to run up and take off my helmet, and luckily the president was there, and she said, don't touch her helmet. I had a full helmet then. I didn't have that half helmet. And so, but so they fixed it, but I still have it, and I know a guy that was willing for me to take it over, and just, it needs the oil drain, the gas drain, new filters, new tires, probably new belts, because it's been very well packed up, but it hasn't been running. No, I want to get the trike because we want to go full-time RV, and having a motorcycle on the back on a small trailer would be awesome. So that, because if we go with the Class C, if we go with another trailer but lighter than our old one for the truck, we can put the bike in the back of the truck. And that way, when we're hooked up, well, it's more for the Class C, because when you have a travel trailer, you can take your truck. But it would be fun to have. It would be nice. And if it's triked out, I think Tom would be more secure with it. And well, what I've been thinking is we could probably have training wheels fabricated cheaper than I can buy this kit. And that's where I've been going with my thoughts lately. But as you can see, we've had many more other expenditures, and it's been on the back burner. But we let my dad's bike rot away outside, and I've been very upset about that. We were going to rebuild it and make it a rat bike. And what that is, if you ever see a rat bike, it's usually primer colored. It's not pretty. It's just and it's a style of bike. And he was going to do it olive green. He was going to paint Dad, since it was his bike, his rank, and when his birthday, when he died, and his rank. I said his rank. And on the back fender, he was going to put his information and make it an army looking bike. Trike kit for motorcycle. I haven't looked at it in a long time. No, not. Oh, they got DIY trike kits. What's that? Cheap DIY trike kits. Cheap. Maybe they went down in price. Da, da, da. What's this? Yeah, this is what I want. Well, that one's nicer than what I want. Everything's included. I think that's out of my price range. Oh, no, not really. Because I didn't care about having one with a trunk on it, because my bike is only 600 cc's, but it can get up and go. Is that one? There's one on Temu. Oh, that's just the axle kit. No, that's not it. Well, let me go. I'll show you guys this one I found. I haven't looked at one in a very, very long time. So they may have come down in price. So like you don't normally when you trike out your bike, you take the rear wheel off and put a new rear end on. But this just goes on and off, and you keep your rear tire and you just hook it on. It looks like this looks like it has storage. I wasn't going to get one that, and this is what you get right here. So your rear tire goes here and you clamp it on, and it's like training wheels. That's what I call them. Because a lot of okay, Scooter, a lot of yeah, that's Daisy. Daisy and well, she snores. Tiny, the one you saw earlier, he wheezes, and I've been kind of worried about him because he had heartworms. We got him from a rescue, and he been through the treatment, so I'm kind of worried about him. He's been wheezing too much, so I'm about to take him all to the vet as soon as I get a good day off. What was I saying about the trike kit? Anyway, I think at least for less than $3,000, I think Tom, his dad and his brother had a steel business. Tom knows how to weld. He was welding in high school. He's not the big professional welding. It's only at like a certain kind. I don't know which one. There's jig welding. There's stick welding. I think he can do stick welding. But I think we could build our own for a whole lot cheaper. So now that, I mean, I haven't looked in years. There's probably YouTube videos all over the place now on how to make your own where they weren't there before. So if I can find some plans for a DIY kit, I might be on the road again, which would be awesome because if I could get storage, I could probably go to Austin. I definitely could ride to work. I don't want to go to Austin. Austin's too busy at the time of night I go. But I might ride it to work. It gets 50 miles a gallon. I think my truck's getting like 15. Oh my gosh, our gas got down to 205 for a good for a month or two. And we filled it at 205 a few days ago. We went by this morning and it's 259. I'm like, what happened? What is going on? He was like, Iran. I go, we don't get oil from Iran. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, I've got to spend money on just getting the bike running again. And hopefully it didn't seize. But there was a young man that used to work for us and help us out in the yard and stuff like that. And he's in his 30s, late 30s now. But he got sick with a hernia, I think, or an ulcer. I think he has an ulcer. Every time we saw him, he had a monster. He was always drinking energy drinks, and I think it tore up his insides. So that's why we used to have him help us. Gas prices here in Culver City is $4.12, $4.66. That's good for California. When I rented a car there a couple years ago, it was $7 a gallon. It cost me more to put the gas in the tank to return the car than it did to rent the car. And I didn't have that expense in my head. I was like, it was like $60 to fill it. It was like $40-something to rent the car for one night. Yeah, Devin doesn't need a car, thank goodness. The problem is though, she pays too much for groceries. There's another grocery store that she had a car, she could get better prices, but she gets Walmart delivery, so. But God, I cannot believe we have leaked out that much money. Oh. But yeah, I told him, I said, yeah, so go back to the cover for my truck. I was like, so because of his ticket, I couldn't get the cover for my truck. And now everything's going to the trip. So I'm just hoping and praying we get the passports in time. They say 3 to 4 weeks. If we get them in tomorrow, need calendar. We fly out on the 18th. So it's the 14th now. So let's do this. 1. So Saturday. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks and 2 days. I don't know. Might be worth using that company to expedite, but I'm going to do a little more research before in the morning. Oh, no, I'm not getting off work in the morning. I don't work tonight. And I'll probably just still be up. But, yeah. So, I got the new channel. And so, if I'm going to put it out, if you guys, I need the 50 subscribers. It's all I want so I can go live. If you guys could subscribe, that would be awesome. Let me get the copy link. See if I can put it in the chat. Oh, I was able to put it in the chat. I followed that a little bit, Aaron. I don't know. I hope she's better than him. I hope that maybe she might be a little more forward thinking. She might be towing the line right now, but once he's gone, I'm hoping she might be more modern. Because Trump's first term, he was talking in that guy's ear, and I think he was encouraging him to be more part of the world. And because he likes Western things, he likes having like the basketball players over and stuff like that. And I'm like, I think he was trying to get him interested in being more part of the world, and it didn't end up getting there. Thank you. Are you my first subscriber? I think you are. Oh, I can't see it yet. Customized channel. Yeah, I can't see that quite yet. I haven't finished it completely, so yay! Oh, thanks, Scooter. My first 2. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, what's weird is I was telling you the one on my personal account that says welcome to Fort Cavazos. I have 45 subscribers because people have, I think, clicked on me in the chat thinking that was my channel. So on that channel, I have, if you're looking for my protest channel, it's over here. Okay. Thank you. So on March 21st, I don't know what time, they are live streaming the concert on Netflix all over the world. So please watch it. It will be so fun. And just know I'm there. I'm going to live stream from time to time. I don't know if I'm going to do much pre-recorded video. Because I just don't like to edit and I'm not very good at it. So I might just pop on from time to time when I'm looking at something so you can hang. I'm taking all my stuff, my gimbal and stuff. And I'm hoping to meet up with Fairlane, this lady that has a channel that she does. It's called Asian Culture, and she does a lot of BTS news. She got like for like J-Hope and Jin's concert, she got like a suite with other people, and she has a Patreon where there are groups like the Texas group or the Dallas group, Asian Culture and Entertainment, and she's starting an online magazine that she's launching. So I go to her because there is a lot of people out there giving just total lies about BTS. Just since, oh, BTS has a new girlfriend or because they don't date in public. Their idols don't date because it upsets their fans. I think that's bullcrap, and I hope these guys are all in their early 30s now. The youngest is 28. The oldest is 33. I'm like, these boys need to get married and have kids now. I'm just throwing her channel in there because she's been a really, really big help. So, and she's the one that, let me go to her videos. So she's the one I've been getting all the information for. But she also does like a weekly wrap up of all Asian music, like the Philippines, Japan, all of that. She's following a lawsuit that Hive has with a group, and she keeps up on that. So she's been giving me a lot of information. So she's really cool. I think she lives in California. So I go to her, and there's a couple of, I was new. I'm what they call baby army. And when I was first new, I was clicking on stuff, and I'm like, I can tell this is bullcrap. This is stupid. This is just people. And over there, they love a scandal. Love a scandal. One of their idols was caught smoking weed, and they lost it. I think he left the group. That is how strict they are. Suga, the one that didn't actually go in the army, because he had shoulder surgery, he was in pain 4 years and didn't tell anybody. I have 2 torn rotator cuffs, and I know how much that hurts. And he's dancing. And because when he was a trainee, he took a job as a delivery boy because they were broke. And he got in a car accident on his scooter. A car hit him and ran over his shoulder. I'm like, it was probably crushed. And he's been dancing. Well, it was so sweet. These boys, they're so sweet. And they've had cameras on them so much with all of their YouTubing and their trips and their stuff that if I find out one of these guys has got a dark side, I'm done with humanity. And I've never been a groupie before. Because a lot of people, the music draws you in, but you find out they're really good guys. And the army, they're so good that their fans took what they have like taught them, and they have an army charity project map. And this is all the charities, all the charity things that Army has done in their name. Oops. This is the Army charity project map. They planted trees. They collected canned goods. They've given blood, dog food. Oh, and BTS gave $1 million to Black Lives Matter. They don't normally announce that they do charity, but they did this one, and Army pledged to match their donation and raised another $1 million in 24 hours. And when you go there to the concert, I tried to make gifts and it didn't work out. I'm going to try to take gifts with me there. When you go to a concert, other Army are giving out free stuff. Printed pictures, keychains, stickers, and they'll bring a whole box, hundreds, and just walk by. I came out of there with so much stuff. So much. One of them had a little care package that had earplugs, and I used them. They were purple too. Purple is their color. I actually used the earplugs because you could still hear the concert just fine with the earplugs in, and a wipey and this or that. And another one made a little pouch that said J-Hope on it because I was at J-Hope's concert. And I was going to make these polymer clay. I was going to make these little keychains. I have all the stuff, but they didn't turn out. And it was like the last minute. And I didn't. And they gave out little signs. I said, I don't know what it said. We love you or something that you could hold up. And I brought extra batteries. I've never been in line with people that were so nice. They're so nice. And they're nice when I watch Reactor Channel sometimes. And when Army comes in to comment, if they don't like something you said, they're very nice about it. If there is somebody in the Army who's being rude and obnoxious, they take care of it. They're like, no, we don't do that. They don't mob them at the airport. They have what they call sayings. It's like a bad fan or anti-fan or ones that aren't real good fans, and they do weird stuff. They'll follow their idols and stuff. So what they did is a purple ribbon project. So they showed up at the airport and they all held a purple ribbon so that they could walk through the airport and nobody would mob them. The fans did that. So that's one of the reasons I've gotten so into this group and the fandom, because it's different. It is so different. And it's different from other K-pop. Because anti-fans, fan groups of other K-pop groups will literally go after another group. If they don't like that they won, they'll write to the government or hashtag. One time, J-Hope, when he was younger, they did hashtag J-Hope's ugly, hashtag kick J-Hope out of BTS. How horrible is that? We don't do that here. Here, everybody doesn't care, But over there, they take that stuff way too seriously. Way too seriously. To the point of being scary. So, the real Army won't let that happen. So, it's pretty. They have a really good. They have an unusual relationship. I'm gonna give you guys. It's long, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway. I've watched it a bunch of times with reactors, and I get choked up every time they get to talking about the relationship. Yeah, Scooter. I know you always get those. Yeah, and so, because somebody in Korea, you don't touch people. You don't, nothing. They're very respectful. Well, J-Hope, during his concert, one of his songs, he would go down to the front and he'd say hi to a few people, and then he'd start the song to somebody. He would sing to them. This one girl grabbed his arm and wouldn't let go. And they found out who she was and roasted her. To the point she was apologizing profusely, because that's, to us, we'd be like, whatever. No, doing that to a Korean artist is a no. I'm surprised he didn't stop doing that, but he's probably used to it. Well, not really, but I mean, but yeah, they found her. They won't put up with it. And they're all ages. There's a Silver Army. I don't know what age group that is. Oh, I wish. They don't do that. Security's too tight. I forget what I was going to say now. But yeah, the fandom was a big part of what really kept me, and they helped me a lot when I went to the concert. I was in the chat of Fairlane's. She does live streams all the time, and I was in there asking questions like, what do I do? How early should I get there for the merch? And all this other stuff. They were really helping me. It's called A Guide to BTS Members, the Bang 10-7, and a fan put this together and did such an awesome job. I mean, it was a professional well done. Actually, two. There's a shorter one. They go very well together. The first one kind of goes over K-pop more. This one goes over each member more. And this has 2.9 million views in 3 years, and it's usually done by a reactor, so you've got people watching theirs. I don't know if she gets the views. But here's the link. If you've got some time and you're interested. It's a really good documentary. It talks about how they started. It talks about each member and where they started. And what I wanted you to see was this beginning part. You'll see they don't sell out venues. They sell out stadiums. You see the Army bombs lit up. Really good info. That's at the Grammys. So it's a really stop sharing. I was going to show you one. Oh, I'm just going to show you them starting real quick. It's so cute. They were actually on the street in Hollywood trying to get people to come to a 200-person concert.
Do you know K-pop?
We're going to show their form. Really just department.
연습 시간을 강제하지도 않았고 생활을 통제하지도 않았어요. 모든 것에 자유를 주고 멤버들이 자발적으로 참여할 수 있게 했습니다.
And that's why I see a lot of new people, reactors and stuff, start watching them and they're like, they started. I know. I would break. Oh, no, that's for them. I'm kind of curious to see them because they're getting older. And they didn't dance for 2 years. Well, 2 years. Well, no, they didn't perform. They haven't performed for almost 4 years. They did a free concert to say goodbye when they went in the Army about 3 years ago. And so they were talking about practice. They were like, oh, everything hurts. Like, y'all are getting in your 30s now, boys. You saw the kind of stuff they do. You may not have seen it, where he jumps over. He's jumping over J-Hope, who has laid back on the ground and his feet are by his hips. He's bent his knees and fell backwards, and then Jimin jumps over him. I'm like, his knee, and he's been doing that that was one of their first songs. He's gonna need new knees one of these days. And I don't think they don't diet properly when they were younger. And I'm like, they should have had nutritionists helping them. I don't understand why they let them do that kind of stuff. Jimin got way too thin one time. He wasn't eating properly. Because he thought he was over. Because you get a hashtag out there, Jimin is fat, and they take it seriously. They don't anymore. They're older now. They know their fans care about them and like them no matter what. So anyway, that's the only reason I'm doing all this is they're really impactful. They're really impactful in people's lives. They said at the end of their concert, they go, I hope, RM said it. He said, it's in this documentary. He says, I hope that one line or one word in our songs helped you to love yourself. And he cried. Oh, did I put this in here? Or was I just talking about it? I don't remember. I don't think I did. I don't taste it. Actually, it doesn't have a bad flavor. When I made and I bought burdock root at the Asian store, and I sliced it because oh my God, when burdock root comes, y'all, it's this long, and there's 2. So I let it dry out. I sliced it up. It took days to air dry it. Those 2 things ended up with barely 2 handfuls of stuff. But that I'm gonna make my own tea because I don't know how good this is. It's a tincture. So, and last time when I just had a root that I actually just shaved pieces off. So I'm gonna do that probably tonight. Simmer some tea. Yeah, I would. What was funny is we were at the Christmas party for work, and Tom and I worked for the same company. And the boss, we were just mingling at the end. I said, yeah, me and Tom have 2 dance trophies from high school. He's like, oh, show us something. We tried. Oh my gosh, we so forgot. I'm like, that was 80s dancing when it was a lot easier. And we were doing a lot of old style, like twirling and stuff. And the 3rd year, so we did it 2 years in a row at the military ball. And the 3rd year, commander tapped us and said, you can't win it 3 years in a row. I said, okay, we'll put that down. That was a long time ago. That was 40 years ago. Can't do that anymore. We went dancing in the 90s. There was a really great dance club here, but not since the 90s. We haven't danced. We can 2-step really well. But I think I'm winding down. I appreciate y'all hanging out, though. I do miss you guys. I have no life otherwise. Because, I work alone, too. 3 hours on Saturday. The front is open. And I see people. But why is this? There it is. So it's just me and my flashlight all night. Or the homeless person that I passed up. Yeah, I need to call you. We need to schedule a time for me to call you. So we can chat. I thought about doing this. And just bringing you backstage like we did before. Like after a live stream, we stayed on for a little while. And just not actually going live if you want. Or I can just call you. Doesn't matter. So, I won't be able to do anything until Monday or Tuesday. I'll try to remember and text you, see if it's a good time for you. And then you can let me know what's been going on. Okay, we can do that. But yeah. Hey, what's up? Same with me. Although we always do a late night stream like this if I don't go to Austin. We're all night owls. Yeah, we should, Eric. We should. I'll probably do that type stuff. Well, that's something I would probably stream to both of my channels. Because, people in the community here, we're very interested in when we do panels and stuff. And it's really cool. But I'm going to keep all the fun stuff, though, over on my other channel. So I just started a new channel I was talking about because I'm going live. I'm going to South Korea next month for a free concert and event and stuff. I've never been out of the country before, so I'm excited. I just pray for me that I get my passports in time. I'm going to put a little note in there and say, please, 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 please make this go fast. So we'll see. It's up to the once I mail it, it's up to the universe if I'm going to go or not. Oh. So, yep. Me too. Please. Please. Oh, I missed one thing that happened. I missed it. I lost my ATM card for like 3 weeks, and I knew it was in the truck or in the house. Yeah. Yes. I'm going to be doing that more on my other channel. I just talked a lot about it. If you want to go back and replay a little bit, I showed some footage of the band I'm going to go see because they're very, very different. If you've ever heard of BTS, they do a lot, and I'm not talking about their music. Oh, they spoke at the UN 3 times. They're the only group to ever perform at the UN. They did a music video at the UN. And in 2022, they were invited to the White House, and they spoke on anti-Asian hate and, oh, there's another word, xenophobia, because it was after COVID. And they met Biden at the White House. So that they've done, and they've gotten this is all the stuff. It's in this documentary. They're the youngest recipients of the Culture of Merit Award for spreading Korean culture and language. Then they were made Korean envoy or official envoys and given diplomatic passports right before their 3rd speech at the UN. And then recently, RM, the leader, spoke at an economic conference in Korea. So they do so much more than music. It's amazing. So, but yeah, that's why I do this job I don't really get tired even on my 12-hour shift. I never get like tired. I do tend to zone a little bit. Yeah, that's why I haven't been able to go to Austin, because I've had to work extra till we get a new person. I don't think I'm going to have to work extra after this week. I think they've gotten somebody new. So we're a very small contract. There's only 5 of us. There's 3 people during the work week because they do 8-hour shifts. There's 2 of us that work the weekends because they're 12-hour shifts. So if somebody's gone or something, we all have to cover. So they're going to have to cover my weekend when I'm gone next month. But yeah, Tom was like, we were driving home. He's like, yeah, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. I go, what did I say? I said, well, yeah. He goes, I guess we're not doing anything. I said, no, you got me tickets to Korea. We're good. And then I said, oh, and probably a new radiator. Oh, good, Eric. That's good to do sometimes. It's all right to take a break. It's a lot. I have to a few times. Oh, especially when I first started working. So, but I was ready to get back to doing days this week and had to work extra. Yep, Saturday the 14th. Today's Friday the 13th. I don't have a very good record with Friday the 13th. So all of my physical troubles started on Friday the 13th. So Friday the 13th, 1988, in May. I had just moved back from Georgia May 5th. My mom, while I was gone, had moved to the country in a small town. So I went to stay with her, and the closest small other town was about 16 miles. I'd never been in that town before I applied to work at Domino's. That was back when it was 30 minutes or less. or not Domino's, Pizza Hut delivery. They had just started pizza delivery only Pizza Huts. It was my second day, Friday the 13th. I just started my solo deliveries, and I get to my green light and I see a car run the red light. Now, this is a 35-mile-an-hour road, and he flew by. You don't expect a second car to come through a red light. So I go on through the light, and I got T-boned. He had to be doing 60, 65 miles an hour. And it took me a while to realize I think they were racing. I had an off-duty cop as a witness. I had 7 other witnesses, and I had a crappy lawyer, and I got hardly anything. He was a Domino's driver, and it was such a small town. We only had 2 roads that went north and south, and we were both in like the same strip mall. So we did pass each other a lot. These 2 a-holes, the other guy was probably a driver too, we're racing, totaled my car, screwed me all up forever, my neck. I got nothing because I had a crappy lawyer that didn't want to go to court. He just wanted to sit on his butt and make phone calls for 2 years. I had to wait 2 years. But I'd gotten married. I was about to move to California. I just wanted to go. Hey, Jay. Yeah. Hi. How you doing? I'm about to sign off. We've been on here. It's getting close to 3 hours. You want to back up a little bit? We talked about BTS a little bit. It was pretty cool. Other than that, it was just me. I was going over my life. These are all the negative things that have happened in my life in the last 2 months. Not even quite 2 months, about the last month. It's been a doozy. A doozy. But it's first world problems. First world problems. You know, we'll deal with it. We always do. So, all right, y'all. There's let me do it again real quick. I'm going to post. I just started my new channel today. I haven't posted anything, but that's where I'm going to do more of the fun stuff. And I'm going to South Korea, if you're new in the chat, next month for an event. And I'm going to be live streaming there on this channel, Miss Kim's World. So y'all have a good week. If I don't have to work this week, which I don't think I do, I'm going to try my best to get to the org during the day this week. And I'm still, if it's nice, I'm still going to do my Friday night on 6th Street. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. I don't know what the weather is for the rest of the week. So just, so everybody take care. You too, Scooter. And I'll see you guys in the chats or on my channel next week. So if not, have a good week. Good night.